Every game begins the same way.
Hello, Birdland. Welcome back to Orioles Fan Central, your #1 channel for exclusive Baltimore Orioles news and analysis. I'm Hunter James, and I have a lot of hot information to discuss today. The offseason is heating up, and believe me, Mike Elias has critical decisions to make. Before we dive into the details, a quick heads up. If you're a true O's fan and want inside information, straight up analysis, and news the second it breaks, hit that subscribe button now. Seriously, do it. You won't want to miss what's coming this offseason. Trust me. All right, let's get straight to the most crucial item this offseason. The hottest news, the biggest question mark hanging over Camden Yards right now is, what are we doing with the 9th inning? At the general managers' meetings this week, I heard from my sources that Mike Elias was very clear. The bullpen is an absolute priority. And frankly, all of us in Birdland know why. The Felix Bautista situation is a devastating blow to this team. We somehow survived without the mountain in 2024 after his Tommy John surgery, but now with this subsequent shoulder surgery, my sources are telling me it is almost guaranteed we will not see him on the field in 2026. That is the brutal reality we have to face. We've lost not just a closer, but the most dominant and intimidating closer in baseball. And as we saw painfully down the stretch in 2025, the closer by committee approach simply isn't sustainable for a team with World Series aspirations, not in the American League East. You cannot patch the 9th inning together with duct tape and wire and expect to beat the Yankees or the Rays consistently in September and October. You need a finisher. This leads me directly to the news circulating behind the scenes, which I believe is the most logical and strategic move for the Orioles right now. Pete Fairbanks. Yes, the former Tampa Bay Rays closer. I know what you're thinking, a player from the Rays, but listen, this makes perfect strategic sense. Fairbanks is a face that we as O's fans know all too well, usually for causing us headaches late in games. He has spent the last 7 seasons in our division pitching under intense AL East pressure. Last week, Tampa Bay, in a classic Rays way move of trying to outsmart the market and cut costs before a player gets expensive, declined his 2026 contract option. He is now an unrestricted free agent. This is a golden opportunity for Mike Elias. Let's look at the facts and the numbers because they matter. Fairbanks is not Bautista. I need to repeat that no one is, but he is a proven, legitimate closer. In 2025, even on a struggling Rays team, he made 61 appearances, posted a solid 2.83 ERA, and converted 27 of 32 save opportunities, a career high. More important than that is the consistency. He has notched 20 or more saves in 3 consecutive seasons. This man knows how to close games in the toughest division in baseball. My analysis on this is clear. The Orioles need stability. They cannot risk another full season where Yennier Cano, who is an elite setup man, is forced into a full-time closer role, or where we have to hold our breath on every save opportunity. The front office learned the hard way what happens when you lose a pillar like Bautista. Fairbanks, at 31, brings exactly what Elias needs, proven 9th inning reliability without costing the exorbitant price of a Josh Hader or other absolute elite names on the market. He won't be cheap, and my sources say there will be a competitive market for him, but he fits the Elias model perfectly. Acquire proven AL East talent that is being undervalued or discarded prematurely by a rival. The Rays believe they can just magically create another Pete Fairbanks in their lab. The Orioles can and should benefit from that arrogance. Bringing in Fairbanks solidifies the bullpen immediately, allows other relievers like Cano or Cionel Perez to move back into their ideal dominant setup roles, and takes immense pressure off the new manager Craig Albernaz. This is a pursuit I am monitoring very closely, and my sources indicate the O's interest is very real. It's the smartest move on the board. While the closer search rightfully dominates the headlines, equally important moves are happening internally within the organization. As I've been saying, new manager Craig Albernaz is beginning to assemble his staff, and the first major hire has been officially announced. Donnie Ecker will be the new bench coach for the Orioles. I want you to pay close attention to this. This is not just any hire, it's a statement of intent. To understand this move, you have to understand the connections. Albernaz and Ecker worked together from 2020 to 2021 with the San Francisco Giants. There is a deep level of trust and a shared baseball philosophy there that is absolutely critical for a manager and his right-hand man. Ecker, 39, is widely regarded in the industry as a brilliant, analytical, offensive mind. However, he comes with a very complicated recent history, and this is where we need to be objective and analyze both sides of the coin. Let's first dissect Ecker's resume. For the past 4 seasons, he was with the Texas Rangers, serving as bench coach and offensive coordinator. The upside, it's a massive upside. He was a central piece, a key architect in building that devastating offense that led Texas to a World Series title in 2023. Under his guidance that year, Texas led the American League with 881 runs, posted an impressive 263, 442 line, and a 114 WRC plus. They won the inaugural AL Silver Slugger Award for coaching staffs. Ecker provably knows how to build an elite championship-level offense. However, and this is a significant however, the 2025 season was an absolute disaster for him. Texas, in an attempt to fix things, removed him from bench coach duties before the season so he could focus only on the offense. The result? The offense completely collapsed. On May 4th, Ecker was fired. At that time, the Rangers were 25th in WRC plus and 85, 29th in runs, and 28th in on-base percentage. It was a dizzying fall. So, the obvious question is, why would the Orioles hire a guy who was fired just 6 months ago for offensive performance failure? Here is my analysis and what I'm hearing from my contacts. First, as I mentioned, it's the Albernaz connection. Albernaz is bringing in his guys. He is replacing Robinson Chirinos, who sources say left to pursue other opportunities, with someone he trusts implicitly. Second, this is a classic Mike Elias bet on Ecker's ceiling, not his floor. The Orioles are betting that the offensive genius of 2023 is the real Donnie Ecker, and that the 2025 problems in Texas were an anomaly, perhaps a roster issue or other internal dysfunctions. Third, and most importantly, this signals a complete reset of the coaching staff. Sources confirm this is Albernaz's staff, top to bottom. In addition to Ecker, bench coach, the O's brought in Dustin Lind, hitting coach, another San Francisco connection, and Jason Bourgeois, 1B coach, a former teammate of Albernaz. Meanwhile, a wave of coaches from the previous era is out. Tony Mansolino, who went to Atlanta, Cody Ash, Anthony Sanders, Chirinos, Sherman Johnson, Tommy Joseph, and Grant Anders. It's a total house cleaning. The good news? Sources like Andy Kostka at the Baltimore Banner report that key pieces of the pitching infrastructure, like Drew French, pitching coach, and Ryan Klimek, pitching strategy, are expected to return. That is smart. Keep what works, pitching, and revamp what needs a new look. The offensive philosophy. Ecker is the centerpiece of that new philosophy, and it's a high-risk, high-reward hire, but it's exactly the kind of analytical, relationship-driven move that defines this new era of Orioles baseball. So, Birdland, the picture for the start of this offseason is clear. Priority number 1, is to solidify the bullpen, and Pete Fairbanks, in my professional opinion, is the most logical, available, and proven target on the free agent market to fill the devastating void left by Bautista. At the same time, internally, manager Craig Albanaz is wasting no time. He is overhauling his coaching staff, bringing in his trusted guys, led by Donnie Ecker, and betting on Ecker's World Series winning upside despite his messy exit from Texas. Now, I want to hear from you. The big question looming: do you think Pete Fairbanks is the answer the Orioles need for the ninth inning? And are you confident in this new coaching staff Albanaz is building, especially with the Ecker hire? Leave your detailed opinions in the comments below. I read absolutely all of them. And if you haven't already and you want to be the first to know the latest news and deep dive analysis, subscribe now to Orioles Fan Central. I bring you the info as I get it. Stay tuned, O's.